The Miami Dolphins are back in that strange, electric space again, the one where every headline feels like it's about something bigger than football. There's no glossy optimism this time, no bold statements about trusting the process or building for the future. It's raw, uncomfortable, and impossible to ignore. Chris Grier is gone. The front office has shifted again, and Champ Kelly now sits in a chair that already looks too hot for comfort. The locker room knows it. The fans feel it. Everyone's waiting for the next shoe to drop, except no one's sure how many are left to fall. After that gutting 28-6 loss to the Ravens, there wasn't even anger anymore. Just silence. The kind that hangs heavy, like a room full of unspoken words. 2-7. That record isn't just numbers. It's a mirror showing every missed tackle, every wasted drive, every empty promise that this season once whispered. And now it's about what comes next. The trade deadline looms, like a shadow no one wants to stand under. Tuesday's ticking closer, and suddenly the Dolphins aren't buyers, they're sellers. Not just selling contracts or cap space, but maybe hope itself. There's something quietly heartbreaking about that. The offseason started with talk of contention, of chasing the AFC crown, of finally stepping into the light after decades of false dawns. And yet here we are again, back in the same space, asking the same questions that never seem to get real answers. Whispers started leaking early, the kind that make your stomach twist before your brain catches up. 1 or 2 pass rushers could be on the block. Someone said, "You hear names, and they're not just players, they're pillars. Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, Matthew Judon." It's like talking about removing the walls of your own house while you're still standing inside it. And yet, there's logic in chaos, isn't there? A 2-7 team doesn't get to pretend it's one piece away. Maybe this is what accountability looks like when it finally arrives. Still, it's not just the front seven in question. The real storm might be deeper in the secondary, where the name Minkah Fitzpatrick has resurfaced like a ghost that never stopped haunting Miami. Again. Second time since June, if you believe the reports. The irony is brutal. The same player once traded away to reshape the future could now be traded again for the same reason. Fitzpatrick's been steady, sharp, relentless. 9 starts, 50 tackles, 5 pass deflections, 1 interception that barely made a ripple because, well, winning hides everything and losing exposes it all. But what does it say when your best defensive mind is the one being shopped around? When leadership isn't rewarded but replaced? Fitzpatrick isn't just a player. He's a reminder of what could have been. He's the echo of that promise that this defense was supposed to be the one to break through. And yet, here's Mike Florio saying he might be gone. Another trade, another fresh start, another reset button that's already worn thin from overuse. There's talk about Pittsburgh, always the easy connection, always the circle that threatens to close itself. But the Steelers just got Kyle Duggar, so maybe that door's not open anymore. Maybe that's for the best. Maybe Miami shouldn't be helping anyone else get better while it keeps breaking itself down. Or maybe it's already too late for pride. Maybe it's about cutting losses before they start multiplying again. It's hard to know what Kelly's thinking. Interim GMs rarely make moves that define eras. But then again, eras in Miami don't last long enough to define anything. The pattern's too familiar. Change the names, reshuffle the vision, sell the idea that this time it's different. Yet, how many times can a team start over before it loses sight of where it's supposed to go? Somewhere in that building, there's still belief. There has to be. You don't go through this kind of grind without clinging to something. Maybe it's the young core. Maybe it's the flashes that still flicker between the broken plays. But there's an undeniable weight now. A sense that the margin for error vanished weeks ago. You can feel it in the way the players move, not defeated, but drained. Like every down has started to feel heavier than the last. Tua's eyes after that Ravens game said enough. It wasn't frustration, not exactly. It was something quieter, deeper. The look of someone realizing that control isn't always in your hands, no matter how hard you fight to keep it. And for the fans, oh, the fans, it's that familiar cocktail of loyalty and exhaustion. They've seen this before. They've lived this before. The heartbreak, the rebuilds, the off-season promises wrapped in bright colors that fade too fast. Still, they show up. They wear the teal and orange like armor. They hope, even when hope starts to feel like a trick played by the calendar. If there's one thing this franchise does well, it's survive turbulence. But this feels different. It's not just a bad stretch. It's an identity crisis playing out in real time. Are the Dolphins chasing wins, or are they chasing stability? Because right now, it feels like they can't have both. Every trade rumor, every anonymous report, every sidelong comment from a national analyst just pulls another thread loose. There's this unspoken question that no one around the team wants to say out loud. Has Miami already peaked with this group? Because the stars are there, on paper. Hill, Waddle, Chubb, Phillips, Wilkins. Talent isn't the problem. Execution? Maybe. Consistency? Definitely. But deeper than that, it's the lack of rhythm. This team's music feels offbeat, like everyone's playing their part, but no one's hearing the same song. When you start floating names like Fitzpatrick, like Chubb, you're not just adjusting, you're admitting something's broken. And maybe that honesty is overdue. There's no shame in admitting you built something that doesn't work. The shame comes from pretending it still might. So what does the next week look like for Miami? It could be the quiet before a storm or the calm that follows one. There's no middle ground anymore. If Kelly's really going to put his stamp on this roster, it won't come through press conferences or polite statements. It'll come through the moves that make everyone uncomfortable, the trades that sting, the decisions that divide. That's the price of trying to rewrite a script that's been stuck on repeat for too long. And maybe that's exactly what this team needs. Something sharp, something jarring. Because the truth is, mediocrity in the NFL is worse than failure. Failure gives you direction. Mediocrity traps you in the same loop, season after season, until you forget what the point was in the first place. Miami has been trapped there for too long. Flashes of brilliance, followed by stretches of confusion. One week they look unstoppable, the next unrecognizable. It's that inconsistency that eats away at everything. The chemistry, the confidence, the trust. And when that starts to go, even the best talent in the league can't save you. You can feel the tension even outside the locker room. Reporters walking on eggshells, fans refreshing their phones every 5 minutes, insiders tossing names into the air just to see what sticks. Everyone knows something's coming, no one knows what. And through it all, there's this eerie calm from Kelly. Maybe it's confidence. Maybe it's calculation. Maybe it's just the quiet before the chaos hits full force. He didn't inherit an easy job. He inherited a roster full of names that carry both promise and baggage. And now he has to decide which is heavier. The Dolphins aren't just facing a trade deadline. They're facing a reckoning. The kind where every decision, every whisper, every rumor starts to shape not just the roster, but the culture. Because that's what this all comes down to, isn't it? Culture. The thing that's been fragile in Miami for far too long. It's not about how many Pro Bowlers you collect or how flashy the offense looks on a highlight reel. It's about whether those pieces fit when it actually matters, when the lights are too bright, the hits too hard, and the clock too fast. And right now, that fit feels off. So yes, trades might come. Big ones. Painful ones. The kind that make you question everything. But maybe that's how the Dolphins finally find their balance, by letting go of what's holding them still. It's not easy. It never is. But change rarely is polite. It's messy, loud, and uncomfortable. And maybe that's exactly what this team has been avoiding for too long. The discomfort of truly starting over. Somewhere down that hallway in Hard Rock Stadium, there's a conversation happening that could reshape everything. Maybe it's about Fitzpatrick. Maybe it's about Chubb. Maybe it's about something even bigger, something that hasn't leaked yet but will soon enough. The Dolphins are in transition again, and it feels like we've said that 100 times before. But this time, there's a different tone to it. Not tired, not desperate, but raw. Like a team finally tired of lying to itself. Because maybe that's what rock bottom really looks like. Not the scoreboards or the standings, but the moment you stop pretending everything's fine. The moment you finally admit it's time to tear it all down and build something real. And if that's where Miami is now, then maybe, just maybe, that's the beginning of something that finally lasts.